Learning the language was really hard for me at first. I think it was a full year before I was comfortable talking to people. When I first got to the mission, I knew that I didn't know Japanese. I just felt like that was okay. I felt like I was going to learn it at some point, and so I was okay with that. About 8 months in, though, I was like, why don't I know Japanese? I've been here for 8 months, and I'm almost here for a year, and I still don't know Japanese. So I started to stress out at like 8 months. But like I said earlier, it kind of sounded like gibberish until I understood it. Fun thing about the language is there's 3 alphabets, so it was pretty hard to learn how to read. The first 2 alphabets were really easy to learn. They were literally the exact same sounds, just different symbols. So one alphabet was for normal Japanese words, and the other was the exact same sounds, just different symbols for foreign words, and for like foreign people's names and stuff like that. So those 2 were easy to learn. The third one, though, is Chinese characters. It's probably simplified Chinese characters most of the time. But when you read a book, you read all 3 of those alphabets at the same time, because they'll have usually kanji, which is the Chinese characters, and then they'll have like 2 or 3 hiragana characters after that. And that's all one word. And then that's just the way they made their words and their sentences, was the kanji and the hiragana. So there wasn't a lot of missionaries that really got proficient at reading. Like, we could read pretty well, reading the Book of Mormon in Japanese or other stuff like that. We could read out loud and participate in stuff that way, but it was pretty hard to read books or pretty much anything in Japanese. So most of it was just learning how to speak. Usually that was most of what we focused on, because that was what we needed the most, and other stuff like that. Language learning tips. I'd say be patient, and trust in the Lord. It may be hard at first, but the Lord doesn't give you a commandment that you can't accomplish or obey. So He sent you to teach in a certain language, then He's going to help you learn the language. You just got to work hard and trust in His timing. It was always fun teaching the Japanese people English, especially when it came to like pronunciation. Part of the reason is because I'm terrible at pronunciation, just in the way that I'm saying the word pronunciation. I'm not pronouncing it right. And so I think Japanese pronunciation was a lot easier for me than English pronunciation, or however you say it, because, I don't know, Japanese is really simple when it comes to all that. Kind of sounds choppy. There's a lot of hard letters or syllables in it or whatever, but I learned a lot more about karate words. I was really into karate before my mission, and whenever I'd say to Japanese people, I know karate, they'd be like, you know what? I'd be like, karate, I know karate. And they're like, oh, wakaranai. I don't understand. Karate. And my companion would say, karate. They'd be like, oh, 空手あなたは空手のご存知でしょあなたは空手してるでしょ I'm like, oh yeah, I know karate. And so it was fun. I learned karate has a couple meanings. It means empty hand, which I knew that. But it also could mean China hand, because that's where it came from. And so that was fun. I learned a bunch of reasons and names for different things. I knew like a handful of terms before my mission, but I learned the meanings once I went on my mission and actually learned Japanese, so that was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll talk in Japanese for a second, and then talk like an American in Japanese just for fun. まあ、最初に自己紹介したらいいんじゃないですか。私はワナクチョラです。私はユタから来ました。今日本で伝道しています。私たちはイエス・キリストについてメッセージがあります。So that was like what we'd say a lot of the time, similar to what we'd say in like an approach, but sometimes we'd make fun of Americans and American pronunciation when it comes to Japanese thing, especially in my last area, because of all the military people who were there and who would try to say Japanese things or names. My last area was Misawa, but a lot of the Americans would pronounce it like Masawa. And there was an area close by called Hachinohe, but a lot of the Americans called it Hachinohe, and stuff like that. Say Watashi tachi wa Senkyoshi desu. Watashi tachi wa America jin desu. Utah kara kimashita. Sportsu ga ski desu. Let's see. Watashi tachi no mokuteki wa hitobito ni Kiristo no moto e kuru yo susumeru koto desu. And so, I don't know, we laughed a lot about American pronunciation, however, American Hudson.